Here's Dan Shapiro to help you find your edge, master your process, and own your future.
Hey guys, good evening everybody. Welcome to another edition of the AccessTrader.com nightly update show. Hope everybody is doing well. Just in the form of Dave Portnoy when he makes his emergency press conference tweets or Instagram, whatever the case may be. There is no emergency here. Just I felt that usually Thursday night I take the night off, but I felt like today I should make a video just because there's a potential personality shift in the market. So let's talk about it, right? Help out your boy, click a like, support the channel. Again, hopefully I can direct you in the proper place. For all you guys who are investors, you probably want to leave the room. Again, this channel is not for the investor. If I had a bet, and again, obviously we have no way of knowing, I believe that probably 1% of the population are traders, which basically means they'll trade the long side, they'll trade the short side, and be as comfortable as using their left hand or their right hand. Okay, I should have said the left and right hand for the only dance. Okay, let's move on. Right. So investors, they're worried about the PE and the cash flow and the positive flow and the divergence and all that cool stuff that I hear. I have no idea what any of that stuff means, but again, I'm just a Neanderthal clicking a mouse. But more important, the trading aspect of what we do, all jokes aside, is very, very important because, again, we all know stocks go up, stocks go down. That's the nature of the beast. But again, the long-term stance for all investors are 100 years from now, we'll be okay. 50 years from now, we'll be okay. And traditionally, the market is always rewarded for long-term investors. But if you're a long-term investor, what is, like, why are you listening to me? Why are you listening to anybody? All right, buy your stock, put it, under your mattress and wake up in 20 years. Hopefully you'll have more money than you started with. But from the trading aspect is very, very unique because it gives that 1 or 2%. Again, maybe I don't want to cut it to 1%, but it's a very limited amount of market participants that trade both sides of the market. I think that's very, very fair to say because, again, all you have to go look at any terms of tribulation in the market, and the majority of the things you'll see on social media is my stock is oversold or cash is a position. Right. Or there's another side of the equation. You can actually hit the sell button and stocks actually depreciate to take advantage of market opportunity. And today's close, you're not going to find anything screaming off the charts. Matter of fact, you look at the Qs and they're putting in, an absolutely nothing day, down a couple of points, NASDAQ down 100 points, not a big deal. So what's the big deal? Why did you feel necessary to take your natural day off on Thursday nights to make a video? All right, we're going to talk about it, right? It's called speculation money. Speculation money is everything in the momentum side of trading, right? Not investing, but trading, okay? And what I mean by that is the more participants, right? The more participants are looking to chase a stock or Bitcoin or altcoin or crap coin or anything in between, the higher probability the momentum will continue in that fashion. The problem is where you have a buyer's strike, when nobody wants to chase performance or buyers get tired. It happens all the time. If you guys remember, last Friday, we had that big, massive engulfing candle from the Trump China news that they will be tariffed at 100%, taxed at 100%, starting on November 1st. And that candle really put a dent into a lot of momentum, okay? And what that candle did was engulf basically about a whole month worth of trading. And if you guys remember, that's where like 99% of the crap coins got liquidated. It was the first 20,000 point move on Bitcoin. And slowly but surely, although it wasn't obvious, even the names, right? Even the big momentum names, let's be honest, the big momentum names have not been the mega cap space, although they've had their great runs and individual names have done incredibly well, like A&D and Oracle and Avagos of the world, right? There's a lot of names that didn't participate. Google's been on a magnificent run, but the big names, right? The magnificent names were these quant and rare earth names, right? And again, I'm not going to go through all of them, but you know the name, the OKLOs of the world and the RGTIs of the world and the SMRs of the world and the U 28Us of the world. There's a lot of them, right? There's a lot of them. And the most important part in the last 3-4 months, everybody kept on, well, not everybody, but the general market, market participants who were, who believe that shorting is everything, even in an upward market, they kept on trying to short the top and getting squeezed out. And all I kept on saying, if you guys even go back to last week, I said, guys, there's absolutely no way a stock can start a back test if it doesn't take out a previous day's range or a previous 2 days range. There has to be some point of reference. There has to be some sort of market discovery. And I even talked about RGTI. If you go back to last week's video, I even gave you guys the price. I gave the price this morning on on Twitter. I gave the price yesterday on Twitter. I go $50, 50. The stock, there's no possible way the stock can go lower if it doesn't take out 50, 50, 50, 50, 50, 50. That's the 5-day moving average. It held twice. That is the line in the sand. And I get it. I'm just using RGTI as an example. Okay. Every single one of these other names that I mentioned, they're exactly the same thing. The only problem was they were never confirming the previous day's lows or the previous channel's low. They consistently just put in higher highs or higher lows, and people are just getting squeezed out. And then finally, buyers got tired. The same way sellers got tired in April, right? We put in that April, I guess, blow off bottom. Is that even possible, right? Or capitulation bottom, whatever bottom you want to, whatever bottom you want to call. Kim Kardashian bottom, whatever bottom you want to call. Once we established that April bottom and the sellers got tired, we started running back up, right? Running back up. And we, up to today or up to even last week, we had this incredible melt up market. The problem is the same way sellers got tired in April, buyers got tired today, okay? And this was the first time that we had a multiple channel confirmation on the stocks that had the big run-ups for the last 2-3 months. And today was very, very violent, right? Very, very violent. You could see majority of these stocks, pretty much all of them, got absolutely destroyed. Matter of fact, if you go look at today's pivots, you kind of see, right? These are all names that had big moves, right? Big moves, whether they're rare earths. So again, you couldn't put every single pivot on the planet. But the point is, when one domino fell, they all fell, right? So MP 8650, if it builds below, can flush. Again, why was 8650 important on MP? Because 8650 was the 5-day moving average. If you follow along, you've been following along for years, you know that the 5-day moving average represents short-term sentiment. Whoever has control of the 5-day moving average has control of short-term sentiment. So it lost 8650, traded basically to the lows of the day here into the 83 area. Is it done going down? Your guess is as good as mine. But if it starts losing 83, which is the 10-day moving average, then you have 80, 78, so forth and so on, right? Again, is it a direct shift in personality? To be determined, but at least we're getting some clues. IONQ, again, I never trade these damn things. I traded IONQ today, okay? Just because, again, I started seeing it. You started seeing these channels break one after another after another. IONQ held 70-60 twice. If it loses the 20-day, so now you're getting a bigger point of demand. If it loses the 20-day, can get hit. Here was IONQ, right? So here was the 70-60, right? You see this whole area here? Held 70-60 once, held 70-60 twice. It got absolutely murdered, right? Absolutely murdered, traded down to the lows of the day, got smashed as well. And again, you can go through every single one of these stocks, the rare earths. Again, you can't put every single one. You can't trade everything at once, but you kind of get the point. HIMS, put up a 70-cent move, nothing. Avago actually gave a pretty good trade to the upside. 359.40, rejected, needs to build. Went to like 63 and change before everything reversed. Tesla lost the bottom channel, went down about $4 towards the end of the day, but kind of recovered. But again, nice move towards the end of the day. And this was, this was the big one. The big one was right here. Where was RGTI? Right. So RGTI, again, if you've been following along for a while, right? Started last week. I started saying, guys, stop trying to guess the top. Okay, I forgot which video it was, but it's something last week. Stop guessing the top. 50, 50, 50, right down 50. It's the 5 days, the 5-day, the 5-day. The longer it sits there and defends, the higher probability. When it finally violates, it gets pulled. RGTI, they started coming in very, very aggressively for the 48s, 47 weekly puts, $50 held twice. That's also the 5-day. If it loses support, it can flush into the 46-ish, right? Here is RGTI, right? Look where it traded up to, the 46-ish, right? So it lost the 50, the 2 days on the 5-day moving average, traded to the 10-day. If it loses the 10-day moving average tomorrow, okay, if this is truly, and we don't know yet, we have to really see tomorrow's price action, but if this is truly a personality shift, okay, and things what's the word I'm looking for? If the speculation money darlings that have been ramming up since April, if there is a continuation of a buyer strike and RGTI loses the 10-day moving average, there's room, guys, all the way down to $40. So as you can see here, it took out the 5, stopped at the 10, right? That's the whole point of the PS60 theory. Stocks trade from supply to supply to demand. And if you are interested in pivots, guys, again, all you need is 30 days to break away from the normal. But the point is, if it loses the 10-day moving average, it can get hit really, really aggressively. The Bitcoin names, right? Look at the Bitcoin names. Bitcoin feels like another wave down. Guys, look at Mara, right? Look at Mara. Look at Riot, right? Look at these candles, okay? Look at, what's the other one? What's the, not Coinbase. What's the other one? MSTR, right? MSTR violated a month range. We had a nice pivot it wasn't on the Twitter feed. For all you guys who got short at 292, it violated a month worth of range. So these Bitcoin stocks not coming in as well. So if you have a combination of rare earth, quantum names, and Bitcoin, whether it's the hard coin or the stock derivatives of those coins, if there is money flow coming out of that names, that means speculation money is going somewhere else. And if it goes somewhere else, that is going to be a really, really aggressive confirmation that there is a potential gravity, right? Gravity and personality shift to come. So obviously, for all you guys who are watching Bitcoin, again, I'm not really in that space. Watch to see what happens. If Bitcoin starts losing last Friday's lows, wherever the last Friday's lows were, what was it, 102, 105, whatever it was, right? Watch those areas. If that happens, everything else is going to start to get pulled as well. If you look at even the mega cap names today, right? Look at Amazon. Guys, look at Amazon, right? Amazon, if you guys remember, lost that 16 of the 150-day. It stopped twice, 3 times in the same area. This area gets lost, right, in the next couple of days, this thing's going to get hit. Again, granted, I don't know what's going to happen on earnings. Maybe there's a fabulous quarter. We're not talking about earnings. We're not talking about guessing. We're not talking about down the road. We're talking about tomorrow. Look at NVIDIA. Ever since it came out with earnings, the personality, talking about a personality shift, the personality has definitely shifted. It's been upgraded numerous times, cannot rally. Guys, look what happens. This thing confirms the 50-day moving average in the next couple of days. This thing is toast, right? Absolutely toast. Again, we don't know if it will, but again, we have to have the conversation. If you are a trader and you are that 1 or 2% that trades both sides of the market, don't you have to put yourself in a position that you are prepared for all this stuff? You just don't wake up in the morning and go, oh, the video is weak. You have to know your pivots. You have to know your downside channels. You have to see what the rest of the market. You have to read the room to see the personality of what's happening. And right now, at least at the early stages, we are starting to see a little bit of a personality shift. And that's kind of literally the theme of this of tonight's video. And if this personality shift goes from outlier event to something more, then there will be harder and stronger ramifications. And that's what she said. Guys, have a great night, everybody. God bless. I'll see you tomorrow on the field. And let's see if we can get into some trouble to end the week. Take care.